2.
Wouldn't be funny.
And away go. Welcome to another episode of the Getting Salty Experience podcast, the only podcast in the whole wide world that brings the Firehouse Kitchen table to you. And here we are. We brought it to you. It's the Famous Wives show. We got them on. We did it. Talked about it for a long time, but we finally got it there, right? As always, I'm joined by my best buddy, lifelong friend, chum, Longshoreman Louie. There he is.
Hey, shalom.
Here with the lovely Rosie Gribble.
Yay! So we don't get the cheers for Lou, just for Rosie.
We got the guy, the OG, the big guy, Chief Steve. The Shorty Love. I call her Shorty Love. Maria, Miss Chief Steve Kubler. There she is, right there, baby. Woo!
Real Chief.
There you are.
She's the real Chief. And there we got Pandemic Pete on the wheel of steel right over there.
Very sad and lonely.
There we go. Before we get into it, Pete, why don't you give us a little shameless plug? Hit it.
Well, if you guys know, if you want to coordinate and look as cool as myself and Kevin, you're going to have to get on over to gettingsaltyapparel.com. That's right, where you can find all the finest firefighter clothes and apparel. The Bronx Ben t-shirt here, the excellent hoodie modeled by one Rosie and Louie there. And head on over to www.gettingsaltyapparel.com. where you guys will find us and all the cool gear and all the echoes in the world. There it is.
And if you might want to find Chief Steve in the bathroom, or I don't know where he went.
No. All of a sudden, now the dog had to go out.
Oh, the dog had to go out. Yeah.
Love it. My word.
Beautiful. All right, Pete, you know what we're going to do right off the bat?
Talk to me.
We're going to get to know you. We're going to do a little wedding picture. And each couple can give a little brief statement on how they met and how they got together. So why don't we start off? Where'd he go? Left again. He's on.
The dog out.
He's like, wait, I don't want to do this.
Hold on a minute.
Come on, man.
Where'd he go?
He's giving the dog a treat.
He knows we just went live, right?
He knows we're live. I think this might be a perfect time.
Wait,
you know what?
Play the new Chief Steve.
Not yet. Listen, let me ask you.
Okay.
You do know that this is a live show, right?
Yeah. Yapping.
You got anything else you want to do? You want to do the dishes? Or I don't know what you want to do. You good?
I'm good.
Want to go gas up the car, shovel the driveway?
Hey, I've seen you get up in the middle of the broadcast.
Just to take a piss. You've been up twice in the first 30 seconds. What?
I had to let him out, and then I had to let him in.
Oh, all right. No problem. All right.
Or should I just left them out there until the
should have left them out there, Mama Mia.
Then I could have had a dog sickle.
All right. What do we want to do, Jeff?
Let's go with seniority right here. Why don't we put up the Chief Steve and the lovely Shorty Love? What?
Oh,
Wow.
Yeah, look at that. Beautiful.
Aww.
You were good looking. The wedding book.
Who's that guy?
Who is that guy? I have no idea.
I had a nicer one.
What he do? He was walking down the stairs and he just snapped a picture of that one that was hanging up.
Probably.
No, it was in the book.
The
book.
Nice. So give us a quick little synopsis of how you guys got together. You weren't on the job yet, right? You were in high school.
I was in high school.
High school.
Tell him how we met.
Grover Cleveland High School, outside of Mr. Kilbert's class.
No, it was your
my
singing,
music
your
class.
Music, class.
Nice.
Outside of my music class, and he passed by, and I was like,
She used to have a class right across the hall from me with her cousin every day. Nice to see
Why do you
that.
look so angry about it, Steve?
No, that's his smile. You don't know him yet. Get to know him
He's
better.
smiling.
Oh, I see. Oh, I'm
Smiling,
sorry.
smiling. He's really
That's when we
smiling.
met, and we started dating, and that was in 1975.
19. I remember the
I
first
didn't hear
day.
you. What'd you say?
1975.
I remember the first day I met Shorty Love. How old
I
was
was
I?
born that year.
I didn't hear that.
How old was I when I met you?
7.
7 years old when I met Shorty Love. Unbelievable.
Very a little guy.
Our little guy.
A little bit smaller. Than
He wasn't much taller than he is now. I'm gonna see that.
No,
wasn't much shorter than
No,
he is
you're
now.
much
Get it
bigger
right.
now. You're much bigger now. Much
And ever since that, she's been in the family. How many years?
45 years.
45 years. This came from my family. Beautiful.
Nice.
I have to give you the cheers for that. You know, like, nice. That good work. Good work. Good work.
Well, for dealing with me or just being in the family in general, or married
Yeah,
to?
dealing with
right.
you mostly. You know.
All right.
No, dealing with you was easy in the beginning. You were only 7 years old.
Right. You should just kick the shit out of me. That was it. You know,
I didn't.
you used to pay people to kick the shit out of me.
That's better.
Right. Pay my sister to kick the shit out of me. Really.
I used to pay your sister, your twin
Right.
sister.
Right. $5 to kick the shit out of me. Right. Good.
Mamma
I
mia.
wonder why I have problems.
That explains.
All right, let's go to my man Roofy right there. Roofy and Rosie Gribble. Roofy!
Oh no, the snoring. I didn't mean to hit that.
That wedding picture right there, kid.
Here we go. Here we go. Boom.
Me.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
look at
just-
that.
just so- I'll say it real quick. Petey Brennan, the guy who's kneeling down, we got married in 1998. That's when we became the squad. So we became the squad in July of 98, and we got married in August. So I only knew Pete really 2 months. So we got married in Villa Lombardi's, which is in Holbrook. Pete was, as it turned out, a volunteer, I think, in Lake Ronkonkoma or something like that.
Hoppa.
Hop or something. So he showed up without us knowing with the rig, and he took all our helmets because you could tell they're all new front pieces because we just got there a month or so before that, and so he showed up in his Class A's. I knew the guy 2 months, and
He walked in during the cocktail
he
hour.
walked in. He's like, "Hey, Louie, I brought the rig. We got to take a picture." And in that picture is Coobs, Jimmy DeVolio, Nicky Corrado, Kenny Marino, who passed away 9/11. Timmy Welty passed away 9/11. Petey Brennan passed away 9/11. And then you got Danny Kruger. And then my cousin Lewis, he's a lieutenant in 132 truck. So, yeah, Petey boy. He was always loved the job, man. That's Coob's guy. He loved him.
To Petey.
All right, so how did you guys meet? Give us a little quick story how you met.
You want to tell him?
I guess we can both tell him a little bit. We met at Sprats on the Water.
Told you.
Oh, you were trying to remember, Kevin?
I don't know where it came from. Like, I think they met at like that place which like Sprats. I'm like, oh yeah,
Sprats
You
on
guys
the
went to
Water.
high school together.
I was walking out. No, yeah, I was walking out. He was walking in. I was with a girlfriend of mine who actually we all went to the same high school together, but didn't know each other in high school.
Kim Mall.
Remember Kim Mall?
Oh, I remember Kim Mall. She was in our grade.
Yeah, she was in your grade, and I was with her. And Lou sees her, and he's like, "Hey, Kim, what's up?" She's like, "Oh, nothing. We're leaving." He's like, "No, don't leave. Come hang out." Before you know, we're on the dance floor, we're hanging out, and I'm like, "I gotta go," and he's begging to stay. You know.
Oh, he's begging.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Describe begging.
You know. He was like, "Oh, you really gotta leave. You really gotta go."
Do we throwing the moves?
Yeah, I gotta go.
I had to move, just don't move.
So I told him I'd be back there the following weekend because it was my birthday weekend. And I said, come meet us. Oh, we had beepers back in the day when that happened.
Oh.
So gave you my beeper number,
I
right?
think I had your beeper number. I sent you
Yep.
flowers.
Oh my God.
Got me flowers on my birthday. No, I'm a week. How you doing?
Was it weird? Was it weird dating a longshoreman, or
He wasn't a longshoreman back then.
you know what? I gotta ask this one question real quick. I gotta ask this one question because it already in the chat it's blowing up. Everyone wants to know how Ro feels about Lou's new look. Is it sexy?
It.
Yeah.
Who, Lumberjack Louie? Who wouldn't want to be with a lumberjack, bro?
Does he come in with an axe and he's like, "Hi, I'm the lumberjack here to fix your pipes" or something like that? Nice.
You know, we should have asked, honestly, we should have asked Shorty Love, Mrs. Chief, if she likes the new Jay-Z look on Chief Steve.
Holy shit.
Look at his face. Look at his face.
With the Jay-Z.
So cool. Let's hear the story.
Who's Jay-Z? I don't know who's Jay-Z.
Yes, I just said that.
Let's Petey, let's see Coop.
Let's hear Coobs. Let's hear about this one. Look at how beautiful Anna looks. Look at that.
Anna Banana.
Look how much hair you had.
What about me?
Face. You pick one with your face.
Again, look how beautiful Anna looks. Really beautiful.
You ain't lying.
I think she's taller than you.
Now, what version do you want? Do you want my version? Or do you want my wife's version?
You want her
Anna's version.
We hear you all the
I'll give
time.
you my
You want
version.
her
I'm
version.
not even gonna ask you.
Here we go.
This is how it goes. All right. I'm working a day tour, and I get a run, and I come flying down the stairs, and come around the rig, and I barrel into her and knock. Is that part true so far?
Okay. Good.
I knock her over. Right. Get on the rig, go on the run, come back. She was there selling because she worked for.
I was picking up T-shirts, and you had the.
Oh, but you working for MSA or who you working for?
I was going for Guardline.
Oh, Godline. Whatever. She's selling fire department
Fire safety
equipment to hazmat. So I come back from the run, and little Chief Cassidy, right? What's his first name? John Cassidy. Lieutenant John Cassidy says, "Hey, could you do me a favor? Could you take Anna here and get her a couple T-shirts? She can buy for some T-shirts." I'm like, "Yeah, all right, no problem." So at the time, the T-shirt locker was upstairs above the gym, right?
Here's where the lies start. Go ahead.
This is not a lie.
Here we go.
This is the truth. So at the time, the shirt locker is a very narrow locker. I go in the locker. I'm getting some shirts. This is the God's honest truth. I feel a hot breath on the back of my neck like this. Breathing is hot, and I'm thinking to myself, I think she wants to jump me in the shirt locker, bro. I don't know. This is what happened. She's all up and in me in the shirt locker. I'm like, she wants parts of Coobs right here. She wants a little.
Piece of Coop. Look at Maria's face.
I don't blame her.
I don't blame her. She's only human.
I get her a couple of T-shirts. We talked a little bit. At the time, I'm trying to get my invention off the ground. You know, the tile hook, right? I'm trying to get this little invention I got off the ground. She says, "Oh, I can help you with that. I got a lot of people I know in the industry selling stuff like this." I'm like, "All right, here's my number." I take her number, blah, blah, blah. Month goes by, maybe 2 months go by, I get a call. Like, "Hello." She's like, "Hi, it's Anna." I'm like, "Who?"
That's Anna. Messed up.
Anna from Godline. I'm like, oh, yeah. She goes, "Well, anyway, you know, I think I talked to," what's his name again?
But her name was Anna Cougar back
I'm
then.
going to look at my wife's face. She's like, "No." What, John?
Anna Jason.
John Young. I got this guy, John Young. He's interested in you, whatever.
God rest his soul.
Yeah, he passed away. He's interested in your thing. I'm like, cool, whatever happens. All right, so 9/11 comes by. We're having a little thing in the firehouse. I call her up. I go, "Hey, you want to hang out? We're going out afterwards for a few drinks after the firehouse. We have this thing."
I was busy.
This is my time. We have a little thing at the firehouse. Afterwards, we're going to Matchmakers. Remember Matchmakers, Ruffy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're going to Matchmakers for a few drinks afterwards. She goes, "No, I got something to do. I can't hang out."
I like your style, Anna. Playing the long game. I like your style.
We actually had a date.
She had a date. So, whatever. She had a date. Whatever. I don't care.
Why wouldn't she?
Why wouldn't she? Look at her. She's beautiful.
Come on. Are you kidding?
I'm laying on the couch because I'm hanging out with my kids. I get the phone call. And she could tell you if this is the goddamn truth. She goes, hi, Tana. Want to come out and play?
That's not what
That's what you said.
Can you come out and play?
All right, Ken.
Splitting hairs there, Anna.
Yeah, female. You say that all the time to female.
I do.
Can you come out and play? I'm like, oh, well, I'm sitting here watching SpongeBob with my kids, but yeah, I can come out and play. No problem. Like, over there. You go over there. The rest is history. Now you can fill in the blanks and tell me what part is not true.
I didn't attack you in the shirt locker.
I didn't say you attacked me
in you in the shirt.
Were you
locker.
breathing on him? Did you have hot breath?
I was not.
Hold on. Anna.
Check that door for heat, Tim.
She was breathing on the back of the neck a little bit.
It was not. The staircase was like yay narrow. So if you didn't step into it, you would have fallen down the stairs.
Oh, that's why she was close to me. That's why I turned around and I was like, oh, is that you behind me?
Cool. You're only human. You know what I mean?
I was so attracted to the color me bad look, with the goatee.
I didn't have a goatee. I had
Petey, we have I
What?
got you a video for a comedian who's actually married.
Oh, we forgot about her, bro.
She's married to a FDNY captain. So check it out.
Yeah, to set the tone for the night, you guys, we found a little clip of Rachel Feinstein. I think it's hilarious. That was sent to us by who sent that to you? Louis, you sent it to us, right?
Somebody sent it to me on Instagram. Yeah, it was
Hilarious. Who sent it to you? What? Mike sent it to you.
Here we go. Stand by. Hold on.
And he's a fireman, so now I'm a fire wife. That's actually not a term. They've asked me to stop saying that. The weird thing about firemen is they actually love the fires. I didn't know that, but they don't like to miss a fire. So he comes on the road with me, and he has this app on his phone, and he'll just read me the fires he's missing from the bed. It's such a strange experience. He'll be like, look at this, babe. Beautiful job. That's a healthy fire right there. I'll be like, lot of orange. 1075, fire on the 3rd and 4th floor. That's probably ladder 7, engine 34, responding right now. I'm like, I'm a person, not a walkie. I don't know what you want me to do with any of this information, really. He's like, no, that feels fair. I hear you. 10-4.
10-4.
I love it. That's great. As soon as I saw it, I'm like, that's typical, right? That's perfect.
So we all know that it's got to be a special person who's married to a firefighter, right? Because there's a lot of sacrifices on both ends. And I think that's kind of the whole thing with the show tonight. And I think we have some great questions for you ladies. If you guys are ready.
Shoot them.
Wait a minute. Before we get there, my brother, I wrote, get a little bit clamped. Hold on a minute. I wrote some lyrics for my brother because he's inspiration for me. So, Pete, now I know how Paul McCartney and John Lennon feel when they write a song for somebody, feeling that goes into it. These lyrics just, they grab me. So, Pete, play a song for me.
I just want to say that what we're doing here is a collaborative art. And it really took all of us to come together to make this piece. And the inspiration was our muse, the one and only Chief Steve. I'm Chief Steve, and I'm out sick. That doesn't mean you can act like a dick. Be a professional is what I say. Don't be a naughty slut while I'm away. I might be limping around at home, but I can check your hours. I can use the fucking phone. When I'm gone, you'll miss the love between us. No matter what, my brother's still a penis, and I'm Chief Steve. Great.
That's great.
Look at his face.
That's great.
You can't contain himself.
Very good. Nice job,
the best,
boys.
the best is the very end. I have to say, the shower scene, it must have taken you hours to find such a perfect shot. But let me tell you, beautiful.
The pictures are getting clearer, though, too, I might add.
Well,
Early on, they were crappy.
Great photos, man.
Yeah, it's getting better.
Really great. Really great.
Really.
Go
All
for it.
right, Pete.
At least you took a dig at yourself in that one, though, Kev. No matter what, my brother's still a penis. All right.
He ain't lying.
You know what the funny part is? My wife always calls me a penis.
I was like,
It's such a penis.
All right. Who's ready for some questions?
All right,
Ladies,
let's
you guys
go.
ready
Yeah.
to rock?
Let's go.
Okay, here we go. Hi, legends. Could you please ask Mrs. Steve Kubler this question? I didn't know she was going to be on until just recently. This was the best idea ever to have the legends' wives on the show. Since the FDNY is the biggest and best FD in the world, it would be great to know the wives' perspective of what it's like to be married to the bravest. So I guess it's really a question from all of you guys, but we'll start with Maria down there, and this is from Big John Albanese. Maria, what's it like to be married to the world's bravest?
It's impressive. He's done a very good job in his 42 years on the job, and I'm very proud of him. And he's always been a model officer and somebody that I think the guys can really look up to and aspire to.
Here.
I gotta say, I do. As much as I break his balls, I have to say that I wrote this in your Facebook. I don't know if you saw it. Inspiration to me on the job. Not that
I don't know. Thank you. That's why I didn't see it.
Not that I ever thought I'd be an officer, but very proud of my brother for the heights that he achieved.
Yes. Worked very hard at getting there.
Hard worker.
It's not an easy thing. No.
Nope.
Well, Lou knows.
Yeah, I did it once, and to go 3 more times after that, it's a lot of work, and it's not just your work; it's away from your family. I mean, I remember studying on my honeymoon.
Yep.
So if you really study, and Steve was always in the top.
Yes.
Wherever
we went, the book went.
Yeah, right, no doubt. So it's a sacrifice for everybody.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like you said, it's a real achievement. It really is. So
yeah, very proud of him.
And I always looked. I mean, I grew up. His father, obviously, and then Richie, and then him. I remember them getting on the job when I was hanging out with Kevin at 7, 8, 9 years old, whatever the heck we were doing. But that's why I looked into the fire department, was because of those guys.
Yeah.
I just want to say also, Chief, the one thing you said about, in your old school tips about being a professional, it just sticks with me, man. It just rings with me every week. And I think that you couldn't have said it better. I think we all, no matter what your job is, have a tendency to get very cavalier at times. But we always have to remain professional. So I thank you for that as well. I know I'm not a firefighter, never will be, but I really appreciate your approach to the job. As opposed to a lot of different things that I hear on this show. I really think it's a different look on things to be a professional. And I appreciate that, sir.
Awesome.
Thank you.
All right, Pete, next question, buddy.
All right. Dear Mrs. Refrano and Mrs. Kubler, both Mrs. Kublers, with all the inherent danger, shift work, and having to deal with people on their worst days, did you have any trepidation about marrying a fireman? As with the lieutenant and Kevin, I'm glad that you did. Thank you very much. Also from Big John Albanese.
Big Gianni.
Bro, you want to take it?
Sure, I'll take it first.
Yeah.
First of all, you got to say, who doesn't want to marry a guy in uniform?
Oh.
Right? I mean, come on. All the ladies out there are saying, yeah.
Hey.
But afraid to marry him because he was a firefighter? No, because I met him when he was a stockbroker. So I kind of transitioned into the whole probie school, getting on the job. So I kind of followed him through his journey. So I think it was a little easier for me, scary. Every time he left, he walked out the door, you're wondering if they're going to come back home again. That part's scary, but it never made me think about, whether or not I should marry him or not.
Anna Kubel.
Like Kevin said, my background, I sold fire safety equipment. So I think I'd like to think I came into it knowing a lot of what could go wrong, being that we tried to sell products that would actually protect, them at work. So I'd like to think for the most part, I knew what that entailed. The worst part of it probably for me was the shift work. Getting used to that and not having him around for holidays or family events and things like that, where, he's either got to leave early, come late, or not be there at all. I think that was the hardest part.
More sacrifice.
Yes. I hated when he had to leave the holiday. I wanted him to come home to the holiday.
Yes.
Yeah, that's funny.
I used to tell him, don't pick the part where you have to wait. Pick the part where we have to wait for you to come home.
I learned to dread that calendar. Even now looking at that calendar, I get agita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird though, because we lived it, right, Steve? Like we're used to that. Pop would either be home or missing part of the holiday or have to leave for the holiday. So when you grow up in that family, you're kind of used to that.
Right. Just
It kind of becomes part of your routine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Even him leaving, do you remember when Mom used to, when he wasn't eating at the firehouse? I don't know if it was because he had so many goddamn kids.
No, because it was, like everything else, things have changed dramatically in time. It wasn't, the same like it is now. When I first came on the job, number one, firemen were notoriously cheap. It was like, if a meal was more than $1, guys had a canary.
Yeah.
A lot of guys didn't want to bother eating and this and that. I remember, a lot of times going over to the firehouse and bringing Dad his dinner.
Really?
We would eat.
Really?
Yeah, if we would eat on on a Sunday or something, and he'd have to leave early, and my mom would make a plate, and I would bring it over to him, and he would eat. It wasn't. They didn't have the same kind of big meals and all that. The way they do now. That kind of.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
I didn't know that either.
That kind of got more with the younger. Even when I first came on, the meal, it was so regimented, and so they had the same thing every night, and you used to work it straight tours. Nobody worked 20. When I was a fireman, we didn't work 24s. We worked your 2 days, your 2 nights. So your 2 nights you came in, you had the same thing. You had roast beef, you had green beans, and you had potatoes. They used to make it every night. To pull a slice around it. That's
Billy Hill.
And then we got then we got some young guys in, and they started to revolt, and it started to change. But for years, that was it. How much is dinner? $1.75. What is it? Roast beef, green beans, and potatoes. And, that was just the way it was. And it took years until they got a whole bunch of probies in the starting in the late 70s and early 80s, where you had a tremendous amount of young guys come in the job all at one time, where they started to tell all guys, no, we ain't doing that. No, we're making a deal. Don't worry about it. We'll take it. And and it changed. And then like I say, then 24s for firemen came in, and that changed things too. It was
right.
The job has changed dramatically in the time that I've been in it. Like I say, when you guys you came in, it already went through that. So again, you were introduced to that. That's the way it was. But when I came in the beginning,
right.
It wasn't like that at all.
Right. When you talk to Mom, she used to say that if Dad was working, she'd be cooking at 4 o'clock. We'd have to eat by 5. So
you'd eat that.
Go to work at 5. Right.
He would eat by 5, and he would go to work. He would,
Right. Or if he was coming home, do you remember they didn't have microwaves then? They had the hot plate. Remember the thing? Put the hot plate on for your father. Put the hot plate on for your dad.
That's awesome.
there were companies for years that we used to call brown bag companies. You know, that they really didn't make a meal. Guys used to bring brown bag.
Wow.
The way it was, you didn't want to be detailed there because you know that they weren't making a meal.
So when did all these Firehouse cooking books come?
I just said it started to change from like the time I came on, the late 70s to the early 80s, because you had the in the middle of the 70s, the city almost went bankrupt. They laid off guys. All right, the first time they ever laid off firemen, and I think it was 75, right before the city almost went bankrupt, and then they slowly hired those guys back, but they didn't hire any probies now until the end of 77. They made the first classes from a list that they had from 73, and they just made a bunch of guys at the end of 77, and that was the first probies that they had in like 4 or 5 years. So you had no new blood in the job.
Right.
You had guys that you brought back. They were you had some guys that were laid off that had been hired in like 1970, and they were 6 years in the job, and they were laid off. They brought them back, but you didn't, say for almost a whole decade, you didn't bring any young guys into the job, and then you brought in. From off of the list I came off, they went up to, this was a hiring list, they went up to 8,000 on that list. And so you had a tremendous amount of young guys, and it virtually just changed the job. Just changed it.
A lot of guys. It's a big list.
Huh? Yeah. Oh, that was the list. Me, cousin Kev, and Junior all came off the same list, and. Yeah, you talk about the hiring times. I was hired in 79. Junior was hired in 84.
All right. Junior is our brother, Richie Kubler Jr. You guys that don't know. Yeah, he just got in. He took the test again, remember? And then he got on your list. Yep. All right, Peter, give us another one, baby.
All right, here we go. Evening, ladies and gentlemen. Love the show and your company. My question is for the missus. Was there a time when you had an argument before the guys went to work where you said some things and then instantly regretted saying them and not being able to take it back and worrying about them until they got home? Sincerely, from Oklahoma, Eric Shady.
Go.
I don't need everything I
Nope.
We couldn't text back then either. There was no texting back then, so you had to call the firehouse, and if you wanted to say something to them. So, it was,
I don't ever remember really.
That's another thing that's totally. But that's another thing that's totally different. Just when you don't really, if a guy leaves his wife now and he they have an argument. They're talking in the car on the way in on a cell phone. When I was a fireman, you had the outside phone, and you didn't want to get a call. Guys would call your name, outside phone, Kubler, outside. You didn't want to hear.
Everybody knows.
You didn't communicate until you went home. There was, like she said, there was no texting, there was no cell phones, there was none of that, and.
Chief,
you didn't talk to him.
Right. What's better, Chief? Is it better to have a little cool-off time, or do you think you should go right into it from the house to the car phone?
We never had that conversation, but there were plenty of guys that I think being away would be good for them.
Sure.
Rosie always says that 24 hours away sometimes, again, we're home for 2 or 3 days, right? Sometimes, and then 24 hours, it's good and bad, right? It gives you a break from each other, and it just keeps it going, keeps it fresh all the time.
Now,
Kevin, 100 trip away.
You remember the guy Pete Loesch?
Yeah,
Pete Loesch.
Called Meatloaf.
Yeah. When he retired, his wife said, that's fine. You know, I don't care that you're retired. It's fine. She says, but I want you out of the house 2 nights a week.
Oh my God. Mike Kelly saying Rosie would give Lou the malioc. The evil eye.
Listen, when Pop used to go to work, we would all be happy because we'd be able to watch what the hell we wanted to watch on the TV. It wasn't Channel 13 Nova, or Jack Cousteau.
I'm sure my kids were ecstatic when I left.
Victory Sting.
The kids are like, the kids used to be like,
I didn't have
going back to work.
I think the kids liked it when I went to work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See,
no doubt.
in the beginning, my wife didn't like it. She was afraid to. What's that?
They used to take turns, like sleeping in the bed with me.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my turn. And then I didn't have to cook for 2 nights, so that was.
That's what she used to say, Maria. Same thing. I don't have to cook.
Who wants breakfast for dinner?
Nice.
When we first got married, she was afraid to be alone by herself.
I was. And that was, mom basically saying to me, learn to enjoy that time. She basically did, I guess, when Pop wasn't home because, they ate at the regular time and they could watch TV and she had the bed to herself. I kind of regret not enjoying it more when he was working, because now I'm like, when are you leaving? You going somewhere for 24?
Like leave for a couple of days.
Like Captain Evans always says, I miss Coobs. I'm like, could you take him for a 24 every now and then?
Nice guys.
I remember when I first got on the job, we were kind of dating before we were married, and then when we first got married, I would be like, "Oh, bro, I'm working overtime on Friday." She'd be like, "Oh, come on! we were going to go out and go to the movies and go have dinner." I'm like, "What am I going to do? I got to make the money." She goes, "Oh, all right." Like 2 years later, she's like, "Are you working any overtime?" Get the hell out of the house.
She had the calendar.
Right,
Dude, on the reverse, right? Go to
Open days here.
Firehouse on a Friday night, right? The reverse, going to the house on a Friday night for Firehouse. Like, oh, I love Firehouse on a Friday night. We're gonna play some cards. We're gonna fires.
Nice guys.
Next,
Treat with the kids.
Here we go, boys. Here we go, ladies and gents. Good evening, ladies. Question for you all: What are your thoughts on your kids getting on the job, and would you push them to do it, or would you want them to avoid it? From Jacob Hinderhofer.
Go ahead, Anna.
It's like anything else, right? I mean, I think especially with the fire department, you need a passion for it. It's not the kind of job that you go do and you're like, oh, this is all right. I'll show up to work. So if the kid has a passion for it, we would definitely encourage it. But if not, you try and encourage them to do something, or him or her to do something that they actually love and can earn a paycheck and pays the bills.
I agree.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
Although I have 2 girls, so I wouldn't encourage either one of them. No,
I asked my son. I asked Nick all the time. So you want to be a fireman? He's like,
Nah,
nah.
not really.
All right. I mean, listen, you guys got a great job. You got a great pension.
Yeah.
Early retirement, right?
It's a great job. It's not for everybody.
Right.
Nope.
That's right. It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
I mean, how often do you guys talk about firemen that don't want to be there, right? And it really makes for, a crappy situation, for the guys that do want to be there.
It's very few guys. I mean, there are a few here and there that you meet, that you could just tell either they're tired or they've been there a long time or it was never really their passion, but it's very few guys. Very, very few. Everybody.
When you're on vacation, like in Mexico, you can't wait to get back to the firehouse. There's something wrong with you.
It's a sick.
When you're on the way to the firehouse to going to work on a Friday night, you're like, oh, I can't wait to get to work. This is so great. There's something wrong with you. You want to be a fireman.
That's crazy dude right here.
That's him, right?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna miss you, honey. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Well, on the beach in Mexico, he was like, I can't wait to get back home and go to work. I'm like, are you crazy?
Listening to the scanner, some stupid
I'm like, you want to give up the beach in Mexico to go back to the firehouse?
You know what Uncle Bucky said? Uncle Bucky said, Steve?
What?
Our uncle, right? He was, what do you have? He had over 40 years too, right?
Richie?
Yeah.
No, he didn't make 40.
I thought he had 40 years.
No, he had 38.
Oh, only 38? So, he said, you know it's time to go when you're on vacation and you don't care about if you go back to work or not. That's when you know it's time to retire. I'm like, yeah, I never felt that. There you go.
Your mom said that with all you guys.
My mom said that?
Yeah, I was talking to your mom about it the other day, include like all you guys, you, Richie, Pop, Steven now. You kind of had to be forced out because you all had that love for the job.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. How long do you think Pop would have stayed?
He would have stayed to the end until he's 65, I think.
I think so too. Yep.
He would have stayed to. I mean, it was perfect for me. Walk to work. He was seated chauffeur. Huh?
Or took his bike with the little belt.
The bike with the bell, whatever. Seated chauffeur, an engine company. It was funny. Of course, he was a seated chauffeur, and he very rarely, worked out of the company. He got overtime one time in 143, and he called me up and he was asking me about what he should be doing as the OV, and they gave him the OV because he had 20-something years on the job, and he was like, I haven't worked in a truck in years. And he was asking me about,
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. It's funny.
You got that little nugget to yourself, huh? Look at that.
Outside vent.
Yeah. What was that?
You kept that little nugget to yourself. I didn't know that after all these years.
Well, not something when he came up because I was just thinking about when you asked me what he would have stayed and that. But that he was how he was. He was like kind of nervous because he really only did one job. He was a seated chauffeur, and he wasn't.
Very good with the apparatus, though. Very good with the rig. Loved the rig.
It's a funny. Just talking about the rig. Another funny thing. John Papa. You remember John Papa, who was a fireman?
He was a chief too. Yep.
He became a chief, but he was a fireman with Pop. He was assigned out of Probie School 291. He was telling me, he says, "You know what I used to do to your father?" I go, "No." He goes, "I used to take a handful of bolts and throw them under the rig."
Like they felt like
my God.
Yeah.
That's not right.
That's awesome. He'd be under there probably for 2 hours.
Like, what the,
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
He loved the
Great
rig.
doing it for 3 hours looking for the thing.
Because he knew how conscientious Daddy was. That
something's going on here. Right?
It had to be missing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So Ellie just texted me. She said for sure it was great when Pop was gone because she could serve all of us breakfast food. We wouldn't care at dinner.
All right. Question number 4, you guys. Here we go. Lots of questions tonight. How long did it take for you to understand or appreciate the dark sense of humor we all have? Do you have a similar sense of humor before? Did you have a similar sense of humor before meeting your husband? Or have you developed a similar sense of humor, or do you tolerate our sense of humor? And that's coming from Chris Walker.
Who wants to go first? Rosie, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. So Lou's always had a funny sense of humor since the very first day I met him. A lot of his shit has grown on me. I repeat, without even realizing it, right? Like I'll say something to the kids or to one of my friends. I'm like, and he turns around and he goes to me,
whoa.
"Bill, that's my line." All right. So talking about the dark stuff. There we go. The dark stuff. Taking a crap. First of all, I got to say, I want to know from every guy that's in the chat, how many of you brag about when you take a dump? I mean, is this just him? Is this just pictures? Or is it every guy in the world? It's
I send pictures.
Pictures.
Oh, no. No way. You sent her pictures?
My daughter imitates him good. He's like, yeah, I'm ready. I got to go drop the kids off. I'll be right back. And then he comes out of the bathroom and he's like, "Phew, don't go in there."
Yeah, well, that's maybe that's everybody, because that's me too.
I'm in my own business. And then we get a text message from him, and it's a turn.
Oh, that's him.
I don't text.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Coobs?
All right.
We lost him. Hold on. There we go.
I would make a monster. I'd have to send her a picture of it, bro.
What the fuck is wrong with you, man?
Right. I say that. Oh, and that's exactly my response. What is wrong with you?
Come on, man.
Come on,
Dude,
Man, it's not just
it'd be
him.
like
I just
4 or
wanna-
5 inches out of
No.
breaking. It'd be 4 or 5 inches breaking water. I'm like, I gotta send her a picture of this.
You can't fucking coil one up.
That's
You
disgusting.
can't. You cannot. You can't coil one up and send that to the wife, bro.
I would.
Like,
I wouldn't do that.
I love
I mean,
her.
Honestly, the basic one is what Ro already brought up, which is, yeah, don't nobody go in there. You know, like, I do that every day. Oh, hey, I give her the old, like, from that movie Friday. Don't nobody go to the bathroom for about 35 to 45 minutes.
No.
Yeah, but the thing is that before he even goes in, he's got to announce it to the whole house that he's going in. Just go. Do what you got to do.
Dude, ask her father. Her father comes from the Philippines with the. I'm like this, dude. I gotta go drop an Obama. I'll be back in a little bit. I come out. He goes, "You all right?" I'm like, "Yeah." I dropped an Obama. I make sure I cleaned up my Hillary. All right.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh man! All right, tonight is the final episode of the Getting Salty Experience podcast. Ladies and gentlemen. It's been
It was a good run. It was a
You
good
got
run.
it.
We had a good run.
we had a
Hey,
great
listen,
run.
Ask Chief Steve, bro. Like,
And we're not going to ask Chief Steve this question.
Wait.
We're going to move on.
no, wait. Before, ask about the time I snuck into your office, and I told what's his name,
Fabio.
Fabio, not to rat me out. I go into Chief Steve's office, bro. First thing I do is I shut the valve off for his toilet in the water, and I flush the toilet a couple of times so there's no water in there. And I drop a giant deuce in his toilet so there's no water.
That is
Did the wrong thing.
The wrong
What
thing.
about the shitty diaper you had putting in his car? This thing was like going around for months.
I took a dirty shit diaper that my kids made, and I tucked it in his helmet at the firehouse.
What?
I took a dirty. Well, no, first.
It was one of your kids, Nicholas or Daniela.
Right, wait. When Nicholas was a kid, he did giant turd diaper, and I took it. I was at his house at Christmas, and I put it under his pillow in his bed.
I think Nick's in the chat, so hi, Nick.
I put it under his
Anna, someone in the chat asked, does Anna have a cheetah? Does Anna have a cheetah?
To breathe.
Yeah.
So I take this dirty diaper and I put it under his pillow on Christmas Eve. Right, the next day or a couple of days later, I come back. It's in my locker. I'm like, all right. He puts it in my locker. He drives to the firehouse. He puts it in my locker. I take this dirty diaper. It's got to be about 2 weeks old now. I go to the firehouse and I stick it in his Chiefs helmet.
Come on,
What's the matter with you? What's the matter with you?
Right.
What's the matter with you?
You don't play games with shit, bro.
Dude, he drove from the division to my firehouse and stuck it in my locker. And then he ordered the fireman not to say anything to me. So when I opened my locker, there was a shit diaper in there.
It was your diaper.
I know it was, but he put it in my locker, and then
that was it. You got him. He got you. You're supposed to
you
say
back.
that's it. That's it. It's over. But no.
no.
I don't know if I can
We have to take
handle
it to the next level.
No.
Taking a shit is.
You don't know the rules. Next, Pete. Come on.
What
Next.
is that?
All right.
Please move on.
All right, here we go. Moving on from taking a dump. Hey, guys and gals, we all know a firefighter's sense of humor. No. Hold on. That's just actually it's the next question. It's all about your sense of humor, your funny sense of humor. We all know a firefighter's sense of humor can border on infuriating and sometimes be embarrassingly ill-timed. But what was an instance that sticks out where, as serious as the situation might have been, and as mad as you may have been at your respective other, that you couldn't help but just laugh, and he made everything better in an instance? Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, and stay softy. From Andrea Monique.
I have a lot, especially the one that sticks out most, I think, in my head was Steve's 60th birthday party. Maria. So Kevin was doing a toast after, I don't know, several small bottles of Jameson. And it was a mixed crowd of about, I don't know, 80 to 100 people. Would you say, Maria?
Oh my goodness
The
gracious.
story,
70 people.
yeah, quite a few people. So this story somehow involved him giving 2 middle fingers and grabbing his crotch. It was a very funny story.
That is wrong. And he did the wrong thing.
Great story.
It was a very funny story, but I was definitely like this, you know, sleeping in my chair.
It's always the drink with you. It's always the drink.
I'm in front of.
Is that the one where you thought what's his name was me?
Yeah, Spillane.
Oh, that's my favorite one. That's my
Dude,
favorite
but it's in
story.
front of Maria's whole family. I'm like, yeah, and this, and I'm like, yeah, and that. I see my wife like this in the corner.
It was very cringy.
Everybody else was drinking those little Jameson bottles, Anna. Don't worry.
Great story, though, wasn't it, Shorty?
Yep. That was funny.
All right.
Who's up?
I don't really have too many of those stories. It's not funny.
I can understand that. I can.
He's very serious.
You got the chief. He's the chief.
Listen, Chief, what were our names up in the 14th division when I was driving you?
You were the fun Kubla.
I was the fun Kubla. Right.
He does have a sense of humor.
Dude, I used to answer the phone in the 14th division like this. Division 1-4, Fun Kubla, how can I help you? I would be laughing for about 30 seconds on the phone. Can I speak to Chief Kubla? I'm like, yeah, no problem. Hold on.
And I would call, and I would answer the phone. You know, I would say, you know, Division 1-4 Chief Kubla. Can't tell you how many guys hung up on me.
They're like, we don't want to talk to that. And he did the wrong thing.
Tell about the times that you would come out or I'd be sitting there with nothing but my boots on. Oh, I love working with my brother at the end. It was awesome. Sitting at the desk.
What about when he was the whole month of November after 9/11? He was at Ground Zero. And what did you do, Kev? When he had his binoculars.
Awesome. Did you tell the story yet, Ruffy? You know the story?
You did tell it. Yes, it's hilarious. No.
Here's Chief Steve. He's in charge of the whole Ground Zero production, bro. Right? He's got a little shack there with a little guy with a little clipboard. I'm on the crater with Chief Evans. Oh, Chief Evans with Captain Evans. And here's Chief Kubla, bro, with his binoculars. Like he's looking for me to see what I'm doing, bro. Like he's scanning the whole pile like this. I can see him. I must be how many yards away from you? 300 yards?
500 yards?
I don't know. He's come up with them binoculars like this across the whole pile like this. And I'm standing there on the pile at the end of the crater like this.
This is the story I'm referring to.
And this is what I get.
That is wrong. And he did the wrong thing.
White socks. Somebody wants to know if I wear white socks. No, I don't wear white socks.
Ask another question, Pete. Hold on.
Go ahead, Petey. Next question.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, my face, it hurts.
does he
I
know
can't
it's
feel my face.
Hey, Anna.
Here we go. What happened? What's going on?
Next
No, I was
question.
gonna ask Anna.
All right.
Make sure
All
when
right.
he comes back, ask him if he knows this is live.
Oh, shit, my face hurts.
Got no pus
All right.
rates. I don't know what the hell's going on.
Well,
with
he
that
said,
guy.
go on. Question. He said, go on.
All right. Hello, everyone. My question to all of you is how or what is the best way to bring a new girlfriend into the fire service who has no background of how anything works or goes on the job, i.e. ball breaking and all the shenanigans that go on? Keep up the good work and love the show. Ryan Owens from Marcellus, Illinois.
I guess should I go first?
You can go first.
Coobs isn't here. Take it. All right. Well, first of all, depends on the person. Depends on the girlfriend. You know, really shy. You might want to keep her away from everybody all at once. You want to maybe slowly introduce her to one or two guys. You
Make
know,
sure Kevin's not working.
you know, but she's not shy. She's outgoing. She's got a good personality. She gets along with people. I think you can throw her right into the wolves.
Yeah.
Question.
That is the question.
How do you introduce a new girl, Kev?
What helped me, honestly, 288 had a really great group of wives that kind of were very welcoming and very genuine in their friendship. So, you know, if she's not as outgoing, like I'm a little bit more introverted. You know, I was introduced to somebody kind of like one-on-one, and, you know, it helps to have a friendly face in the firehouse, you know, that somebody that you know during, you know, the events. Because honestly, on the flip side of it, I've heard from other people when sometimes I guess it tends to be a little cliquish. I know Mom had said that sometimes, that Pop's Firehouse was a little bit more cliquey. And if you don't really know anybody, you know, you're kind of on the outside. So I think it helps a lot if you introduce her to, you know, a wife or a girlfriend of, you know, somebody that's been around.
A couple at a time.
That's a good point.
Yep.
Nice.
Yeah. Well, some of the families, like they hang out together after, you know, and so they know each other better.
Right.
Like, you know, instead of just going into the, you know, into a party or something like that, a Christmas party or a picnic or something like that, you know, you don't really know that many people. But if they're at the firehouse for a while, for a few years, you do get to meet some really nice people.
Right.
And, you know, and then you get to know people's personalities and stuff, who you can joke with, who you can hang out with.
Right.
Yeah, it takes time. It's always hard to be the newcomer.
Exactly.
It's time.
Yeah, I was very young when he got on before we got married, and I was very young when we went to, I think the first thing was like a Christmas party.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was.
You know what it is too, is he's going to a new firehouse because he's getting promoted up the ranks. So every time he gets
that was another
promoted,
thing.
he's
Like,
going to a new firehouse.
These people, and then we're on to something else.
Right, you got to start all over. If he didn't have a spot, maybe he's going to the company that he's just in for that time. So you don't know anybody there.
We have people that I know from, you know, different ranks. You know,
Right.
When I was a lieutenant, I was in a spot for 5 years in 55, and she liked those people a lot.
That firehouse was a lot of fun.
And when I was fireman in 138, we're still friendly with people that I was, you know, that I worked with there.
Yeah.
In the division now, you know, Mark Ferran and who you know, and Cucurulo and that. We've been together a long time.
Another great firehouse. Division.
You know, so like
it's like
because you, and even now, even though firemen now, because they move around with getting detail, like when they did the rotation.
Right.
Firemen get to, you know, to meet different groups of people.
Right.
Years ago, like, you know, you went into a firehouse and you were there forever. Those are the only people you know.
Right.
Like, you got promoted and you went, you know, you went to 103 and then you came back to the squad and that.
Right.
You do meet different groups of people, and like I say, a lot of times they become friends forever, even though when you don't see them in the firehouse.
For life.
Yeah. It's great.
Let me share my story now. You ready for this?
Go ahead.
So we start dating, and she don't want to tell anybody that we're dating because she don't want to interfere. She don't want to look unprofessional because she's selling firefighter gear and safety equipment to firefighters.
Mm-hmm.
So instead, I don't know how many months, I got to listen to these retard firemen talking like,
"Oh boy,
you see the meter girl? I want to fucking bang the shit out of her." They're like, "Holy shit, she's got a tramp stamp. Did you see what she bent over?" I'm like, dude, please, can I tell them I'm dating you already? For Christ's sake, I can't take it anymore. Like months.
It's funny.
For months. She's like, nah, you can't tell anybody yet. I got to listen to these assholes in the firehouse talking about it.
Hold on one second.
What?
Back up to the tramp stamp thing? What? Can we back up to that? What is that?
Not.
I swear to God, bro, I'm listening to I just got tramp stamp, bro. You see that one? The meter girl's coming today. We got to look good. The meter girl's coming today. Please let me tell them I'm dating you already.
I don't think I could survive in this environment, man.
Oh
No.
my God, bro. This is like, how many months was that? Like 4 or 5 months? 4, 5. Dude, I'm going to like multi-unit drills, and they're like, dude, check out the fucking meter girl.
I mean, not for nothing. Anna is a beautiful woman. You know what I mean?
Meanwhile, I never intended to fish from that pond.
Oh, she was fishing, all right.
I was not.
Apparently, Anna, you had that hot breath on the neck. So
I don't care what she says. True story.
Listen, I got a hot one coming in, shit hot from the chat, guys. It says here, got a question from the wife. I've only got 7 months on the job. Do you have any tips for her being at home with the kids overnight, 2-year-old and 1 on the way, as far as managing stress and such?
That's you, bro, because we were like,
Don't ask for help. You have relatives, you need friends, you need a girlfriend to help you out. Don't forget to ask for help.
Yeah, I agree.
That's cool.
That's a good one. I don't really know that we ever went through that. I mean, at the time that we had little kids at home, I had the kind of job where I was gone, 2-3 weeks out of the month, 4 or 5 days at a time. So,
a lot of fun for me.
So
couldn't wait to go to work.
I'm taking care of a newborn. Back for 24. Take care of a newborn.
And you also have to share the responsibility too. Yeah. Like when he comes home, everybody needs time off from their job, and being a parent is a job.
I feel bad for him, honestly, because when he wasn't at the firehouse, he was with the kids by himself. And it was basically like passing the baton, like, yo, you're it, I'm out,
I'm like, you're away again.
It's funny when Rosie doesn't like to get up. When she's sleeping, she's sleeping. So when the babies cried, we get up at any sound, right? So I used to jump up. I used to from 11 o'clock till 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. Whenever the baby cried, if there was bottles that had to be done or rocking or any of that stuff, I would do it. Awesome. I would go back to bed, and then she would take the rest of the next shift.
Yeah, if you wake me up in the middle of the night, I can't fall back to sleep.
Yeah,
I can't go back to sleep.
The baby be crying, I get this. I'm like, fuck, I know the baby's crying. Get up. Why you gotta get up?
Kevin, I wouldn't even.
Yeah, I hear him.
I wouldn't even hear the baby because I'd put my earplugs in so I wouldn't get woken up because I knew that he would hear him.
He's a full-blown cry. He's trying to avoid it.
I swear to God, one time I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get her. I pack my ears with as much cotton as I can get, bro. Right? I get up, the baby's crying. She don't hear him anyway. I get up, I don't know what happens. Like it throws you off your equilibrium or something. I get up out of bed like this. I'm like, down. What the hell just happened? I get up again. I'm like, down. What's going on here, bro? Take the cotton out of my ears. She's like,
I'm not up. What the hell's the matter with you?
Very tired. Next.
You know what? I wouldn't usually. I didn't want to dip back into the chat, but Mike Kelly's coming in shit hot here.
Mike Kelly.
Oh yeah, Mike Kelly, Elvis. This one's coming in for Rosie. It says, Rosie, please tell the story of when you and Lou were in the car, got off the expressway, and that dude bumped your car.
No, we're not talking about that. We're not talking about that.
Next. All right, hard pass. Moving on. Wives. What's the dumbest or most embarrassing thing your husband has said or done? From Thomas Eddy.
You want to go?
No, I want to go last.
Oh.
I'm trying to think.
But at a time the guy yelled in the window.
Which time was that?
We were in the minivan and we came around the corner and I thought I was going to hit him.
I forgot about that. So we've got all 4 kids in the back seat. We still had baby seats, right? So I guess he was coming down one of these narrow streets, maybe a little faster than he thought he was.
The car gets narrower as faster you go.
Right. well, the rig gets smaller according to him,
Yeah.
right? So, this guy comes in, and this guy, turns and was like, "Yo, slow down, asshole!" And he's like, "What did you just say to me?" Here's a guy driving a minivan with his glasses, right?
He yelled in the window at my wife, first of all.
Oh.
So I said, watch your mouth. I got kids in the car. And he was like, "Oh yeah, you want me to kick your ass in front of your kids?" To him. So right away, I was like, all bets are off. Go ahead, go get him. So he gets out of the car. He was like, "Go ahead, I'll give you the first 2 punches." And I'm like, yeah. Embarrassing, but I'm like,
holy shit.
That's a little shit talker.
That's usually when they run. When you tell them you can punch them, you get the first one in. If you say that to them, they usually run after that.
He did. He was like this. Fuck you, man.
Nobody got time for that, man.
He was like glasses, minivan, pussy.
I don't think Steve does anything embarrassing. Does he, Maria?
No.
He doesn't.
He lives a very boring life. Different era than you silly guys right here.
Hey, I'm trying to stop it. Oh, there it is. Okay.
No, I get entertainment listening to his life.
Me?
Oh,
Yeah.
Lou's something embarrassing that Lou did?
No.
Are we still on Steve or are we up to me?
No,
he's
we're up to you.
on me. I have enough embarrassing moments that.
Yes, he's got enough for all of us. Any of my own.
You guys leave Kevin alone. I'm gonna jump on that. All right, Ro, give us your most embarrassing Lou story. This is ought to be good.
He might be mad at me, but
It's
Kev,
worth it.
What?
remember when he peed on your car?
Wait a minute. Hold on.
Wait, it gets better. It gets better.
That's not the bad part.
Kev,
You tell a story. You want to tell a story?
I got to tell it, and you could correct me if I get anything wrong, right? Because I don't remember how the whole thing started, but I remember you wanted to take his keys away. And he's like, "Fuck that shit, I'm getting out of here." And he runs out and he pees on your car.
No, wait.
How did it start? How did it start with him peeing on your car?
We're at the first squad Christmas
I say the
party.
second thing, though.
We're at the first squad Christmas party at my house, okay? And Roofy is in the cups hard. And what happens is we're playing Truth or Dare, right?
Oh,
Uh-oh.
So somebody
What are you,
dares.
12?
So somebody dares Roofy. James DeVolio's wife's not feeling well. She's sleeping on the couch.
All right, wait, I want to tell that story. That's my story.
What?
That's my story.
Why didn't you tell it?
Because
I'm
I
telling
told
it.
you about the peeing on the car.
That was the like the game
It's
part.
the same story.
No, but somebody dared him to run across the house naked.
Somebody dared him to run across the room naked and pull his penis out in front of James' wife. And he did it.
No. They dared him to run across the house naked. So he's like, "Yeah, all right, I'll do it." So he takes his pants off. He runs to the house naked. James's wife is sleeping on the couch because she didn't feel good, right? So he's running through the house like this, "Ah!" And everyone's screaming. Gina wakes up. She opens her eyes, and Lou literally stopped right in front of her face. So Gina's face is here, and Lou's junk is here.
Right.
It was like this, though. It was like this. It was like that.
He's like this, and all of a sudden she's got this in her face. So all of a sudden people are like, "Oh shit, that's kind of inappropriate. Let's stop the game right now."
Yeah, so I come back, right? Everybody's laughing hysterical, right? I
He
remember
gets
this.
pissed off that we want to stop the game.
No. So everybody's laughing hysterical. It was funny, right? Everything's funny. It's all funny. You dared me, I did it. And now everybody wants to stop the Cougs. Like, well, we got to stop the game. I'm like, stop the game. I just ran naked through your house. So he's like, no. And then he gives me the No, Lou, you drink it too much. You gotta slow it down.
Oh, that's where the
Easy, Lou. Easy, Lou.
You know how that works out, right? You
want me to slow it down? No, I'm gonna fucking slow it down.
My wife's throwing up in your mother's bathroom upstairs.
No, wait. The rest of the story. The rest of the story is he's fucking pissed. I don't even know he's pissed. Oh, you want to stop?
Lou. I'm with Lou on this. Fuck that. Good, Lou. Piss on fucking car. I'm gonna go piss on your car in 10 minutes from now.
All of a sudden, I go out in my yard to get a beer or something, and there's Lou standing on my hood, urinating on my windshield.
Oh shit!
What's going on? And he goes, "Oh, you want to stop the game? You want to stop the game? All right."
He was pissed. He was so pissed that night. Oh my God!
You're lucky you didn't key your car. You fuck.
I don't drink anymore, really.
Wait, the second part is Rose went to the bathroom vomiting in my shower.
That was me all over the shower curtain. And I come downstairs. I came downstairs and like, oh my God, I am so sorry. I tried to clean it, but I just couldn't.
Great party. Great party.
Oh my God, I wish I was there.
That was a great party.
This is the best story ever. I just want to tell you something. As your friend, I would have pissed on his car too. Good for you. Don't take no shit off of nobody, bro.
Nobody. He tried to take my keys. I'm like, you want my keys? How about this?
I walk out there, and there he is, standing on the hood of my car, pissing. I'm like, dude,
I forgot about that story.
I thought
you want to stop the game now? You want to stop the game now?
I had it backwards. I thought the key on the car came first, and then you ran it. All right, I had it backwards. You know.
I've never had my face hurts. My face hurts.
Next question. Moving on.
Next question. Oh shit. We're only on question 8. My God.
Yeah, we gotta move on.
Let's move on.
Yeah, this is an awesome show. Keep it moving. All right. My question for the ladies is: this question goes to Lou and Kev's wives. What was it like for you when they retired from your side looking in? What was it like when they were trying to settle into retirement from your perspective? And to Kev's wife, what's it like being married to the angriest of the 7 dwarves? Love the show. Keep it up, brothers. From Jacob Hindenhofer.
Angry or dopey?
A dwarf.
Yeah, there was a dopey dwarf.
Oh, she's funny.
Go ahead, Annie. You go first.
It was hell, I have to say. It was absolute freaking hell after he retired. You know, I think being a fireman becomes such a big part of your identity. Maria, I'm sorry. This is you've got this coming, I guess. So it's not just that they lose, you know, the job, right? There's a lot that's involved: the camaraderie, the bond, you know, going to work, you know, with these guys. It was difficult in the beginning. You know, and again, we were both home at that time because I'd gotten a different job where I wasn't quite traveling so much. But, you know, I think you guys starting the apparel business was good for him because, you know, you guys would go to the trade shows and, you know, kind of still in that. And I have to tell you, you know, this podcast has been absolutely great for him as well. I know, you know, he tells me, you know, some of the letters that you guys get from the podcast about how you've affected people and how, you know, you've reached a lot of people. I think it's just as good for him. I think it's kind of kept him in touch, you know, with the industry and, you know, the brotherhood, if you will.
Yeah, Rosie.
Yeah, I agree with a lot of that. But I got to say, I was a little nervous when I knew he was going to retire. I told all my friends, I'm like, yeah, I don't know how I'm going to deal with this. But now that I could, like, you know, sit and look back at a little over a year, I think the good thing was that he retired the end of October, which went right into hunting season.
Oh,
So that actually worked out for me because he was away a lot and he was busy and he was out of the house a lot. So that was a really good transition for me. But I got to say, I do enjoy having him home.
Yeah,
I have some good and bad. You know, the good thing is on a day like today, how many feet of snow we got outside? 2 feet of snow. Guess who's doing snow removal? Not me.
She used to do that.
Because I can't tell you, every time he was at work, there was a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Every time. Snow blowing, I'm plowing, I'm cleaning off the steps. Never fails.
Yeah.
The one thing that I don't like about him being home every night is that I never get the bed to myself anymore.
No more
No,
starfish.
it's nice to have the bed to yourself once in a while. Not every night, but once in a while it's nice. I don't get that anymore, except for hunting season when he goes away.
When I go
Hey,
away,
there you go.
I call her up. I'm like, how's everything? How's the house? She goes, oh, I love it.
It's so nice having a bed to myself. I love it.
I move around.
Don't you guys have a trade show to go to sometime soon?
Huh?
Don't you guys have a trade show to go to sometime soon?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you know, well,
This
with,
COVID thing, come on.
COVID, they've been, you know what? Another thing, Maria and Anna, you guys were talking about this in the beginning. You know, with Poppy and the brothers and everybody, holidays.
Yeah.
You know, like he missed so many holidays through the years.
Yeah.
And now I don't have to worry about that anymore. He's home every holiday. I know he's going to be home for every holiday.
Yeah.
When he was working, I was always like, oh, 'cause we do a New Year's party every year with most of our neighbors around here. And it's always like, oh, are we doing a New Year's party this year? Are you working New Year's Eve? Are you not working New Year's Eve? And I never knew what was going on. But now I know he's always going to be home on New Year's Eve. So I can, plan accordingly. I always going to be here Christmas Eve, whatever holiday it is. So, there's a lot of good points.
And you know what? Anna and Ro and also Maria, they made it. They made it. They're at the other end of their career, and you're blessed to have them because some others don't have.
You're right.
And,
absolutely right.
For sure.
Let me give you a little perspective from the other side. Hold on a minute. Here it comes. So when you're in a firehouse, whether you're a lieutenant or you're the senior guy, or the chief, you're really important, right? You're like a superhero, right? When you're going out to fires, protecting life and property, people look at you like, oh shit, there's a fireman. They're like superheroes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you go home and you're sitting at the kitchen table and your wife's looking across at you and you're like, yeah, there's that dick again. There it is.
You're the guy cutting his grass now. That's who you are.
Yeah. You're like, and all of a sudden you hear, Dad. And you're like, what happened to the superhero? I don't know what happened. Where did it go wrong? Now I
would say that's something you have to definitely. Steve's going to have to more than even us.
Man.
He's running everything. He's in charge of everything. But at the same time, he's been doing it a long time.
It's an identity. You identify.
Yeah, it reminds me of the Goodfellas when he goes into the witness protection program, and he's like, "Yeah, now I'm like every other schlub."
Schnook. Yeah.
Just another schnook.
But in Steve's case, he's done it. Yeah, he loves the job. He's done it for over 40 years. But I'm sure in his head too, at some point, he's probably saying, maybe there's life after. He wants to do some things more, like you said, like we all said, that you missed out on. So it might not be so bad as a guy who got cut short, like Coobs.
Is not the same job as when he came
right. On top of all those other things, exactly.
Right.
So
it's not the same job. It's evolving, in a direction.
But I'm saying he has the fullest career. If you sign the papers, you said, all right, I'm going to put 40 years in the FDNY, and I'm going to be a deputy chief and the commander or whatever he's doing. That's you couldn't ask for anything more, right? Mm-hmm. As opposed to like Coobs or some other guys who got cut short, right? Coobs probably would have done 30 years,
Yeah.
And so he kind of got cut short. So some guys might feel like they missed out. Steve doesn't, I'm sure he doesn't feel like he's, even though he's hurt now and all that.
No, but I just never thought it was going to end.
I didn't like my marriage. Oh, forget about it.
Next question. No.
When you're sitting at the kitchen table and you in the morning at breakfast with your wife and kids, and you think it's the firehouse kitchen table, and you're like, "Oh yeah, this is great." You throw some shit around. Your wife looks at you like, "Firehouse, bro." Like, oh.
If I had a nickel for every time she said to me, this isn't the firehouse. You know what I mean?
Like, yeah, I'm breaking my 9-year-old's balls like he's the guy walking in with
you could
Oh, you're right. Sorry.
Steve always had a good way of he always separated, like he never really brought the firehouse.
That's tough to do. Tough to do.
It had to be, yeah. But he just, he separated the two a lot and never brought a lot home. Only, I guess, things that were really upsetting he would talk about or something, But he separated it well.
Yeah,
but he told me that there's a lot of ball breaking going on.
But you know what? You were acclimated to that because I remember when we would get together and your brothers would come over and we'd be sitting around breaking each other's balls like, "Hey, your old lady," and your brothers would be laughing and like, "What's going on here?" You're like, you don't understand the dynamic of what was going on. And we were like,
family was very good, very good at teaching me. There was a lot of ball breaking going on in the Kubler house.
Yeah, they had a lot of outsiders in, like it was your brothers or somebody else. They'd be like, "What the fuck's going on here?"
Especially when you didn't come from that. Right. Then you get that.
Well, that's definitely a unique family, without a doubt. I mean, it's a unique family, huge family. You guys get together, right? How many kids? How many people are there? 50,
well, the holidays were 35 to 40 people.
Yeah.
Everybody comes.
But even before that, when we had seven kids sitting at home around that giant circular table, and my father would come home and he'd be breaking our balls like he was at the firehouse, right? Breaking Junior's balls, breaking your balls. Then you got on the job and you'd be breaking balls, and then Junior be breaking balls. So it was like the firehouse kitchen table in my house.
Poor mom.
All right, guys. I'm going to take one from the chat here. Let's see. Okay. Have our 6 esteemed guests met someone who just never married or did not want to marry? And did they try to remedy that by playing Yenta at the firehouse? Meaning, have you guys ever seen anyone single that you've tried to set up at the firehouse, ladies? No, right?
I don't think we've ever
nobody that I knew well enough to set somebody up with. There was guys that were single, but
shut up. I know where this is going. I know where this is going.
My wife's friends, a couple of them that were single, we rotated firemen through her friends.
Next
question.
We're going to talk about that. All right. All right. Coming from the emails. Here we go. The question this is going to be, by the way, if you guys can decipher the meaning of this question, I will offer you guys all a drink.
If it's no good, then move to the next one.
I mean, you know what? We can move to the next one. Honestly, it's one of those guys. Just a reminder, please spell check and also reread your question 3 times before you send it to Get the Experience. Yeah, no, that one was too much. Okay, dear Mrs. Refrano and both Mrs. Kublers, I guess here, with all the inherent danger, shift work, and having to deal with people on their worst days, did you have any trepidation about marrying a fireman? Thank you very much from Big John Albany.
We did
this question already.
We did that one, Petey.
We did?
Yeah.
How did that wind up at number 11?
I don't know. It was up top, that one.
All right, I'm sorry. Question for the wives. Did you have any superstitions? Okay, here we go. This is really, guys, you got some gems in here. All right, question for the wives. Did you have any superstitions or rituals that you did when you knew the boys were at a fire? My wife had a small angel-shaped figurine that held a candle and would light it when I left for a fire. An angel watching over her. Mamma mia. When I got home, I blew out the candle to signify I was safe. Really enjoy the show, boys. Stay low and go. Kevin Freitag from White Lake, Michigan. Mama Lucian.
That's kind of cute. I mean, that's kind of cute.
Animals are not allowed around here.
Good point.
So
Good point.
That would never be in my house.
I want to get a Yankee candle. It smells like no candles.
I'm not even allowed to have a real Christmas tree for the same reason. I gotta have a fake tree.
Right. That was another thing. Once we had kids, there was no more real tree.
Really?
Yeah,
you have to have fake Christmas tree.
I don't have to. It's
the same tree for 20 something years already.
Interesting.
I don't want to go off the topic here, but do you remember the time that we had a bad, terrible fake Christmas tree, and I went out with Pop and Mom and my sisters when we were kids, and while you were home, you guys went out and bought a real Christmas tree and replaced our bad, terrible.
I remember him telling me the story.
You remember that?
Yeah.
We come home, my old man sees the tree. He's like, that ain't the tree we had up there. Who was the leader in that one?
I think Junior was.
Really? So you guys run out, you buy a real tree because we had a god-awful fake tree. And you put up the real tree.
And before Pop had that god-awful fake tree, he used to pick out a god-awful real tree every year.
My God. He picked the worst real trees.
Charlie Brown.
Trees.
The Charlie Brown tree.
He had to be drunk when he got him. And there's no way those trees home without, terrible. When every time I look at one of those, Mom has one of those pictures, and you see the tree decorated, you didn't have enough tinsel to fill up the tree. I mean, it was.
I remember that. Actually, I remember that.
Mom's listening; she knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Yep. I also remember the time that you came up and you coming up the stoop and you went through the front screen door and you replaced it and pretended like nothing ever happened. Nothing here.
Was me.
Remember that?
Hey, at least he changed it.
Pop used to tell me all the time not to screw around the door.
We come home from a vacation, there's a brand new screen door. Yeah. Like, we're not going to notice what the hell happened.
We tried to fix it, but we couldn't. We couldn't get it to slip into the thing. We had to replace it. He got the better end of the deal.
Right.
Yeah, he got the better end of the deal.
Brand new screen door. But it's like, it's so funny, like, they're not going to say nothing. Like, when I come home and see a brand new screen door, I'm like, oh, that's all right.
Should have just said, surprise, we bought your new door.
All right. This one's got a few, couple of questions in there. Here we go. Fellas and ladies, first, fellas, thank you for making the show what it is. Awesome. I love every episode and have re-listened to them several times. Thank you. Ladies, thank you for being a part of the support mechanism that lets us do what we do. Our spouses and families are tremendous, and we appreciate you all. So, the questions. How many times a day does your guy make you laugh on purpose, even? And how many times do you have to remind your guy that he's attending a nice event and this ain't the firehouse? All the love and respect for you for helping to make this the best podcast going. Walt Lewis, Orlando, Florida.
He makes me laugh. Okay, Kevin's really funny. He makes me laugh all the time. Sometimes he doesn't even know he makes me laugh, but he makes me laugh.
Those are the good ones. Those are the good ones.
Yeah. There's a couple that make me laugh, and he probably won't think that it's funny. Like one time, I had a 20-pound turkey frozen in the freezer. And when he opened the freezer, the turkey fell on his foot.
Oh, shit.
He was really, really, really mad, but he came up and he was telling me the story. And I was like, well, what happened to the turkey? He was like, I was so mad, I threw it in the garbage. Well, that's funny.
Garbage, dude. If she's not from a third world country, bro, we save everything in the goddamn freezer. It could be like 20 years old. I open up the freezer one day and fucking chicken soup falls out. Dude, somebody left the freezer open and the chicken soup was thawed. It goes
no.
Down my, I come up, there's chicken soup all over it. Saving chicken soup.
He was so mad. What is it? New rule.
No rule.
New rule.
Get the fuck out of here.
And he's gonna start crying.
I was sitting at the table with our babysitter Laura. We were talking, and he was so angry, and neither one of us wanted to laugh. He had the shit dripping from his hair, his clothes, his socks.
Dude, if you go in our freezer, there's shit in there that's like 8 years old. I'm like, are we even gonna eat this?
Listen, you leave Anna alone. She and I are kind of like preppers and stuff, so we're like, you know.
Preppers, this is that third world shit, bro. Like,
Oh shit, Anna, don't worry, I got your back, girl. You know what I
I
mean?
open up shit and there's like so much freezer burn. It's fuzzy. Like I can't even identify what this is right now. And you're gonna eat it? Oh, we need that. We gotta save that for later.
I don't think we say that much stuff.
No, not stuff that's already cooked.
Lou, you gotta have a killer freezer though, with all the kills and whatnot.
We do. Yes, we do.
Like you have like, what do you have, 1 or 2? Like you have like that, like because I went to Costco when I bought the house and I got like I never had this. I lived in an apartment my whole life, right? So I got a standalone freezer for all the whatever.
Big one. I got a standalone. I got 2. I got 3 refrigerators.
We got 3 freezers, 2 refrigerators.
3 freezers, 2 refrigerators, and shit I ain't seen for about 5 years. I don't even know.
You gotta get in there.
You gotta
rotate, man.
Rotate. Like, what the fuck is that? I don't even know what that is. Need that. We might need that.
I'm not a freezer person.
Sometimes I pull out waffles. I see watch the kids when I put them in the toaster oven. They're like this. If they can talk, they'd be like, "Hey, Dad, what the fuck is this?"
What were you saying, Maria?
No, I'm not a freezer person. I just said
We're not freezing.
we only have like 1 freezer.
only the fresh food for you.
Yeah, that's an Italian. That's an Italian thing.
Yeah, it is an Italian thing.
What was the question anyway?
Apparently it's a Jewish wife thing. I mean, too, because she's always breaking my chops. I look at the freezer and it gets half empty, and I start getting like tense, like, "Oh my god, we can't feed our kids for the next month." And then she's like, "No, I like the fresh food." So whatever, it is what it is.
Do it in her voice. How does she do it?
No, I like the fresh food, Peter. Hold on.
Does she call you Peter?
Let me tell you something, Peter. The food's got to be organic and fresh, and it's got to be proper.
Oh,
never mind. Gotta be
never mind.
Somebody mentioned in the chat about my drapes behind me.
Okay,
this is the reason.
Who's drape?
The Ginza drape.
Wants to know about the drape.
Ro, every week they think that they're in the Oval Office over here. What's going on with the drapes? They want to know.
What's the question?
No, they just every week it's something about the curtain. This is the one. You think I put the curtains up? This is the woman who does the curtains. Window treatment.
Actually, my mom makes them, but
Look how excited she is. My mom makes them all. Look at all the curtains. She makes all the curtains.
Oh, why is your wife talking like a Jew again? My mom makes the curtains.
Let me tell you something. My mother spent many days on those curtains.
Next question.
no, we didn't answer.
Oh, you didn't know. Hold on. We didn't answer that question. Hold on.
Go for it.
Felicia, stop rushing.
Go ahead.
How many times a day does he? I don't think Lou makes you laugh at all, Ro. But how many times a day does he make you laugh? Ha ha ha! And then, and how many times do you go to a nice event where you got to tell him, "Hey, this ain't the firehouse"?
Yeah. So yes, he makes me laugh every day. He makes the girls laugh every day. All of you that know him knows he's a friggin' character.
Nice.
Yeah.
Not on the show, but
nice event, every day, in front of the girls. I'm like, Lou, language. Language, Lewis.
I haven't cursed on this show one time.
Language,
I don't curse.
Lewis.
But sometimes I get a little.
My daughter, one day, hears him on the phone through her window in her bedroom.
The F-bombs.
You got that thing that I sent you?
Oh, no.
That thing that I sent you earlier?
Oh, no way. Hold on. Here we go. Everybody stand by. Stand by one. Here we go.
Sent it to you.
15,000 people a day are showing up at this fucking thing, right? So he becomes fucking woke, right? He's actually one of the, if you fucking Google, like, top fucking New Yorkers ever, he's up there. He's a well-known, he's like the president. He's more well-known than the president, right? So, I guess he fucked up the people around the neighborhood, and they fucking burned the place down, right? What the fuck up is you got fucking whales in there, you got an aquarium in there, get off of the shit. The fucking animals are one of the
So you hear the language. I mean, you probably couldn't understand.
I can't even believe that's me. I cannot even believe
You probably can't even understand exactly the conversation, but do you hear every other word?
I can't even believe that's me.
All I heard was, "Hey, it's fucking fire."
Dude, I can't even believe that's me. It sounds like
my daughter hears him on the phone out from her bedroom window, hears him. She's recording that from her bedroom window. So first of all, that's how loud he's talking. Right. Second of all, she posts it on one of, I don't remember which one it was, on one of her social media accounts. And she goes,
now you know where I get this from.
People wonder where I get my mouth from.
You know what? I had to be talking to a fireman.
Dude, this is the conversation I get after a podcast if I've cursed too much. Coops, like the first fucking 5 fucking minutes, you gotta be fucking cursing.
Yep.
I mean, I don't understand what the fuck's going on. I mean, talk about fucking not fucking cursing on the fucking podcast, and the first fucking minutes. I'm like, what?
But I don't curse. I really don't curse that much.
Moving on.
He has gotten better though.
That's horrible.
He has
since I'm out of the firehouse.
Since he retired, that's true. He
the
has
firehouse
gotten better.
Is bad.
So that was before retirement. I don't even know
why.
when
Chief Steve, he's a big potty mouth. I heard.
What?
Chief
See,
Steve, I heard is a big
mouth?
potty.
No, not in front of me. He's a gentleman.
Good.
Oh, look at Chief Steve.
I can't believe that. You knew he was going to be the guy. Come on.
I don't curse in front of my kids or my wife.
Oh
Really?
my God.
You.
Hey, you gotta be here at my house. Well, me and my.
I heard you. I don't have to be. I've heard you curse in front of them all the time.
We've been
Did Pop curse at home?
Never heard him.
Okay.
I told you I only heard him one time. Was when I was walking behind him in the firehouse. I stood up, and he had his back to me in the doorway of the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Hey, you know, fucking guy, this fucking guy."
Wow.
It wasn't, like I say, it wasn't that he didn't know how to curse. Everyone does.
But there was
All I get at home is Peter, you got to watch your mouth at the dinner table. I can't believe you're married to me. This is how you speak in front of your children. I can't even believe it. So I'm with you both, Coobs and Louie. I grew up in Astoria, Queens. It just happens.
I really
Things happen.
When I'm on the phone with guys, firemen and stuff, then most of the time it happens, but I try not to.
All right, go.
All right, next question. Here we go. Lou, I got a question to get input from the wives. What would be their old school tip of the day for the wives' families to manage stress when guys head off to the job? The guys at the kitchen table, the guys got the kitchen table to work things out, or the basement if things get tense, but the wives are left home with the kids and the concern. You guys are doing a great job with the show and a valuable service for the next generation from our man, Dennis. So, ladies, I just want to ask you one thing here, and I want to ask you for your old school tip of the day.
Beautiful. Let's let the seniority take place here. And Marie Coobs has the most time on the job.
Your
tip of the day.
When their husband goes to work for them to deal with the stress of being left.
Oh. I mean, you just got to do it.
Drink heavily.
Good answer.
You just got to do it. I mean, you have no choice.
Right.
Hopefully when they come home, they'll be helping, and there is bedtime and stuff like that. I mean, I'm not in that era anymore. My kids are all out of the house, married. I have grandkids. So where did everybody go?
No.
When we do the old school tip of the day, I should have let you know this. We go like this because it's very important.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. There's no way that you're a grandma, lady. No way that you're a grandma.
Louis, how old are your kids?
20 and 13.
Well, our oldest granddaughter is 13.
Holy mackerel.
Wow.
Reagan is 13. Wow. And then my daughter just had a baby in October.
That's right.
So, I mean, years ago, you know, that's what you had to do. You had to just, you know, grin and bear it, take care of the kids, and, you know, wait for the cavalry.
You had to be. You had to be as tough. You had to be. In other words, you had to be as tough as your husband.
Exactly. I was home a lot alone. So, you know, I was the disciplinarian. I was the nurturer. I was the get-all. My uterus was a you know, a device that I used to find stuff with. And
oh my God! God bless you. God bless you, Maria. That's a chief's wife's answer. Who wants to go next, Anna or Ro?
If we're going by seniority, I guess that would be you, Rose, since I'm the youngest one in the room.
Oh my God! All right, Ro, bring it.
You know, I think something that Maria said earlier, you know, instead of getting some help, grab a friend, have a girl over, keep on drinking.
Oh, man. Love it.
That happens a lot over here.
Anna Coops, you ready?
My old school tip of the day would be from my mother-in-law, Eleanor, who, you know, raised 3 firemen and was married to one for a long time, and basically enjoy that time that he's at work. You know, take that time for yourself, because sooner or later he's going to be home all the time. You're never going to have that.
No doubt.
Nice, guys. All right. And that was our old school tip of the day, ladies edition. I love it.
I have one question for the ladies that wasn't asked. Are you ready for it?
Yeah.
When you marry a fireman, I don't know if when you marry a fireman, you really know that you're actually taking on another family. So what is it like to deal with another family? You have your family, you have his family, and then you got the guys in the firehouse. So you have to make room for those guys in the firehouse. So what is that like dealing with, as you will, a third family when you marry a fireman?
I think it's tough. It's hard sharing one person with a lot of different families. Like you said, you know, my family, his family, the firehouse, another family. But I think what's important when it comes to that is something that we touched on earlier. The firehouse is another family for not just you guys, but it is for us too, because through the years, we've gotten close to a lot of the wives. We've established relationships with a lot of people, and we got very close to people. So I feel like they weren't just a part of his family, but they were part of my family too. So I feel like if the wife can get that relationship, the same relationship that you guys get with the guys, if the wife can get that relationship with the other wives, I think that's awesome.
Yeah. Great point. Great point for sure. Some of, you know, the best women that I've ever met have been the wives.
Right.
Of,
Yep.
you know, that you look forward to, that you really just truly enjoy their company.
Yeah. I mean, we had many nights hanging out with a lot of different people, you know, husbands, wives, going on vacations together, hanging out together. You guys really do have a strong relationship with each other. You know, you really are. What do you guys call yourselves? Brothers? You are brothers. I mean, you guys live together. You guys sleep in the same room. You guys eat at the same kitchen table when you're together. So it's a strong bond.
For sure.
I think it's awesome too.
What say you, Shorty?
No, I thought it was great because it was like for him to have that, because it was kind of like a boys club, and it was okay with me because I knew that, you know, they were a great bunch of guys, and whatever firehouse he was in, they were always good guys, and it was something that he needed, you know, because he worked a lot, and you know. And he had a lot of responsibilities, and he needed that. He needed a release. And I felt like him being around the guys, and it's like, you know, women getting together and stuff like that. So I just felt that it was a good thing. I never resented the firehouse. I always thought it was a good thing for him. Never resented the
That's a good point,
Amazing.
Maria, because you can't. There are. I know
agree.
there are women who do. You know,
Yeah.
there are guys in the firehouse whose wives.
Resent the relationship
Correct.
the husbands have with the other guys.
That is correct.
And that's something that women, you know, as much as everybody wants to be, you know, equal, we're not. Men can give men certain things and women give women certain things, right, ladies?
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Absolutely.
They bond in different ways that, you know,
Yes.
like I said, you know, for them it's bonding. For us is, you know, this ain't the firehouse kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, I always felt it was a nice thing. It was a good thing. And it was never a negative thing for me. That was my personal experience. But, you know.
I think it could go either way, right? So you could have relationships that really work out well in that scenario, right? Where the wife maybe understands that because the husband's going to be doing these things with these guys. You know, he's going to go to gatherings without her. He's going to go to softball games early on if you don't have kids, whatever. There's a lot of activities you could do in the firehouse that you enjoy to do.
But those things were fun too. When he used to play for the fire department basketball team, and I used to love to go to the games when I took my kids.
Participating, right?
And they did softball. Didn't you do softball with the fire department? And then he did softball. We used to go to the games, and it was fun times, you know.
But some women, like you said, it doesn't work out good for some guys because they don't want to share, or they don't
want to share.
Maybe the guy takes advantage of that, you know, possibly, or, you know, but that's a whole nother thing.
Well, that's the thing too. I mean, you have to know, you know, when to pull yourself back from that. You know, he had a family, he had children, you know, and he's a family person. So, you know, he had his fun at the firehouse, he had his fill, and he came home.
Right.
You know?
We got kind of a long one from the email, but I want to hit this one from Will Belinsky because he's always coming in shit hot, as we all know. Do you think Kevin and Lou were crazy when they started this podcast, and surprised how it turned this into this community that we all look forward to each week? I thought that was a nice question.
Yeah, I think it's a great question.
Right, Anna.
I didn't think he was crazy in the sense that, you know, there are enough retired guys that he would talk to shoot the shit with, you know, Hank being one of them, right? Constantly. And I think, you know, especially after 9/11, when all these senior guys basically started retiring, I think in some ways there was a need for their knowledge and their wisdom, you know, maybe not so much in a formal setting. So, you know, I hear these guys talk shop, and, you know, there's a lot of people, I guess, that enjoy it. So I thought it would go over well with a lot of people. I had no idea that you guys would touch as many people as you have. You know, like I said, for Kevin, I think it's been very good for him in that way as well, because, you know, he misses the firehouse. So this is a way for him to stay in touch with, you know, with a brotherhood.
Yeah, it's a way to reconnect.
Yeah.
I never even asked you this, but have you guys like reconnected with people other firemen that you haven't spoken to or seen in like
Every
a long
week.
time?
All the time.
You know, like that's
spoke to a guy yesterday or the day before, right?
I mean, that's awesome. But that's awesome to be able to do that. And you know, the other thing is too, with COVID, this past year, it's almost a year that we actually got quarantined, right? In another month, it'll be a year that we got quarantined. I bet you this podcast kept a lot of people at home, especially the firefighters and all of you subscribers and all the followers, kept them entertained on Monday and Thursday nights. They're like, oh, we got a podcast to watch tonight. I got something to do tonight, you know, instead of
No, it was
like,
timed out perfect. I mean,
I think it was great. You know?
Coombs had asked me for a couple of months, and I'm like, you know, I didn't want to be that guy. I mean, I still don't want to be that guy, you know, who just retired, who's on the air, you know, doing stupid shit. But it's turned out, you know, after a couple of months, it started in March or whatever we started, right, Petey? I don't even remember March or
March, right? For sure.
And it's turned into
quarantine
this.
started, I believe, March 15th.
March 13th.
And to Rose's point, you know, talking to a lot of guys that I have not talked to in a long time, guys that are in the chat, guys that are on the job, guys that I'm, you know, I call to come on the show, has been one of my favorite things about the whole thing. And you know, Kevin and I, we take it, and Pete, we take it very serious. It's, you know, we're on here like 3 boobs, but we really do a lot of work to get to this point and to make sure it kind of rolls off. And if it doesn't roll off so good, sometimes I'm, you know, a little bit pointing the finger. Sometimes Petey's pointing the finger. Sometimes Coobs is pointing the finger. And we just, in a good way, and we all take it the same way, but it's important for us to make sure it comes across in the best way for our guys, because we, you know, it's really connected.
I agree. And I just want to say this, that coming from my perspective, I've never been in this world of the firefighting world. You know, this whole thing came about when Mr. Kubler, Kevin over there, approached me at the gym and, bro, podcast, you know, like, and I was like, yeah, whatever, man. It sounds cool, whatever. And now here we are, a year later or more, a little more. And I read the emails, I see what goes on, and it's, I know I'm a part of something that's bigger than me. And that's the only way I can really relate to you guys as firefighters, you know? So I appreciate it. You know, it's given me, believe it or not, in the last year, I've got a sense of purpose with this podcast, you know? So like, you know, I'm sitting here in my house today singing the Chief Steve lyrics, and my tenant upstairs thinks I'm a maniac.
You know, you hit rock bottom when you're freaking singing a song.
I was kind of like, I'm Chief Steve, wondering if my tenant upstairs. And then I just belted one out, and it worked out beautifully.
It almost like the whole podcast thing almost reminds me of like a high school reunion, right? Like you don't see people for years and years, and then you get in touch with them. You want to be on the podcast, you know, and then you have all these guys like coming on. It's almost like it's like a reconnection from
not to mention,
from many years ago.
Just with Anna and Coops, because we're neighbors. I love these guys. You know, we've gone camping together with the kids and everything, family wise. It's just an extension of that. So for me, it's just another day in the park. I do what I do. You guys do what you do, and we produce a good product, I hope. And you know, I'm proud of what we do. I really am.
Sometimes even you know, I think he's incredulous at how big this has gotten, because he's like, I can't believe these people want to listen to us 3 knuckleheads.
He ain't lying.
He ain't lying. Oh shit! All right,
I got one more question before we go. This one is for Rosie Rafrano. When you married Lou, did you marry him because he was a successful model, or?
Oh shit!
Pete, can you show us?
Oh
what,
no, you don't.
Oh God.
No.
But, you know,
oh no! Come on!
No, I just want to know. I want you to know I'm doing this under protest.
Oh no! Oh no!
oh my God!
Models, who knew?
Wow!
Oh my God!
Oh no!
I can't wait to see the Salty Fans page tomorrow. Lou, you never played tennis a day in your life, you liar. I'm getting that. It makes me cringe. I can't.
I have to check.
My buddy was a model back in the day.
What's the matter with these people?
I never knew that about Lou.
I was just Bernie Sanders on every movie possible. My head was on Bernie Sanders with mittens and now you're gonna give him more fuel.
You know what, Lou? I gotta just tell you something. You were the perfect Models model, and I want to tell you why. Because that was such a New York local thing, and I remember I'd go to like Models to get my champion hoodie. You know what I mean? And the Fila gear. And it was like you see this Italian stud right there. You know?
That's my boy.
That was on Bay Parkway. That was over the
Bay Parkway, no less.
Oh,
it was like a big billboard.
It was on the trestle.
On the trestle. Gotta go.
Oh my God, Louis. Louis, I'm so sorry.
Back then, I was poor. You know, I didn't have that much money. They used to give me free clothes. You know what I mean?
Listen, it had to have been a good gig. Models was a big thing back here in New York.
What
you know,
year What year?
Hey.
Um,
Early 90s, probably, right?
Wow.
come on, 90.
No, 91 or 92, probably.
No.
Hey, can we possibly take one of those images?
93.
And can we make a T-shirt out of one of those? You know, like
No.
I like the one with the tennis racket.
Pissy
That was-
pants.
Oh, that's, I love the Hasselhoff, right? It's like a permanent
God.
wedgie, those shorts. What the hell are we doing?
Hey, actually, I just got one last quick question coming in shit hot from the emails. Pete, ask Kevin's wife what it's like knowing she will never be able to rid the high chair from the table since Kevin can't reach the kitchen table at dinner. David Adams.
Was that from David Adam?
Mm-hmm.
Well, David, I'll
Well, David.
he's small when he needs to be. So, Mom.
Good answer, girl.
My mother-in-law is watching.
Oh my
right.
God, I love you guys.
All I'm going to say is that the reason I wanted to have this show is because we all talk about how great it is to be the fireman, how great this guy is, how great that guy is in this grab and that grab, and what a hard charger this guy was. But nobody ever talks about the lady behind him and what it takes that she does on a daily, in and out, everyday basis to allow this man to go off to the firehouse and do what he does. I watched it from the time that I was a kid with my mother, with my father going off. I watched it when my brother became a fireman. I watched Shorty Love here doing it. I watched my brother Richie became a fireman. And now I watch my wife when I was doing it. So these women are the real heroes behind the man. You know, what is that saying? Behind every great man, there's an even greater woman. No doubt. That's all I got.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Kev.
Yep.
Thank you, Kev.
You know it.
Knowing these three ladies, that is absolutely correct. You guys
Great
are
job.
stellar.
Yep. So what do we got coming up on Thursday, Ruffy? We got those guys from Boston.
We got your boys from Boston. We're going out. When are we going out for dinner? Wednesday?
Oh, Wednesday night. Are you coming? We got. Oh, by the way, what I want to do is throw out a shout out to my brother Steve. It was his birthday yesterday.
Hey.
39. You look good for 39.
Hold on.
Nice.
Chief Steve.
39.
Day over 70. Great job. Awesome.
I got rocking my yoga
around forward. I appreciate that, Jay-Z. Great job. So Thursday we got my boy Neil Mullane from Boston. His buddy Edzo. I just asked him to send me some pictures. He said he's going to send them over. And you got any shout outs, Ruffy? What do you got?
No, I got nothing, actually. I've been shoveling snow.
Same.
Snow. Yep.
He's been shoveling snow, not me.
Holy crap.
Beautiful.
Yay.
Anna, thank you for coming on. Maria, thank you for coming on. Rosie, thank you for coming on.
Having us.
Welcome.
Thanks, ladies.
Were you guys nervous? Turned out all right? You guys okay? My wife was a little bit nervous. She was a
little nervous.
I was surprised I wasn't nervous.
Rosie was nervous.
Rosie was all right? She had a couple.
Yeah, she's all right. She had a couple of beers.
You know, it's a shit part. I got to leave here and go walk the dogs in the frigid snow. I really don't want to do that.
Get out there. Get out. I might even go shovel now again.
You better hope they poop quick.
Poop. They got to wait till tomorrow. That's all.
There it is.
Poop party.
All right, Petey.
Wednesday night, we got the Chief Steve. I'm going to have a little birthday / retirement dinner for him and all his little beef fries there. Chief Ferran, Chief Sweeney. Who else is coming? The Kooks, Mix Rulo, Louis.
I want at Mama Coobs. I want to have a nice video of Kevin giving one of his famous speeches for Chief Steve on Wednesday night. So if we can cook, if you can, someone please cook one of those up for me and email it to gettingsaltyexperience@gmail.com.
Dude,
where are we going on Wednesday night?
Philomena's.
Maron. I'm gonna have the fresh mozzarella, veal palm.
Go to veal palm. A couple of the Chiefs. How many? What's the? If you added up all the time of the guys coming that night, you got 40 something. What has Ferran got?
Fran has got 39.
Wow, that's over 80 years. What has Kooks got? 30 something?
Kooks has got like 37.
Holy shit.
That's 117 years. What Sweeney got?
Mick Sweeney.
What does Mick Sweeney got?
He's got McSweeney's got about 38 years.
Wow, we're into the 104, 150 years of fire service on the. Holy shit, Pete! Come out and bring a camera. Let's make this a video. Come on.
Oh my God! Let's see what happens. I'm in the middle of a crazy time right now, sir.
Pete Coops is buying.
All right,
I'll be there with bells on.
Have your son come with you, Nick. Have little Nicky come with you and have him.
I'll have somebody videoing.
I love little Nicky.
Anybody got any parting words of wisdom? Chief Steve, you got anything?
Any words of wisdom?
Chief, this is a good time to say how much you love your gorgeous, beautiful wife,
Oh,
and that you could never have done this without her.
Of
How many
course.
years married, Chief? How many years married?
40.
40 years.
Holy
bless
shit. How many years you dating?
45.
Oh,
Wow.
Good for you.
How many years
That's
you got?
awesome.
I had a crush on Maria when she was working at Pants Pantry.
How about having that as a sister-in-law when you're a young kid going through adolescence? You know what I'm saying?
Was it Shams the Baron? Right, Maria? Shams the Baron? What was the name of the clothes? Shams the Baron and
forget
Ocean
it.
Pacific. All
How
those
many years you together,
One
Ruffy?
jeans and
Cavaricci's?
Cavaricci.
Cavaricci's were big back then.
yep.
Ruffy, how many years you and Rosie together?
Since 91.
Holy
30
Married
years.
22 years.
30 years.
Holy mackerel, 30.
Wow, you guys are like little kids.
We're right behind you, Maria.
Oh, but you seem like so much younger, and you got a lot of years there too together.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
We're married 12 years.
Oh my God! All I could say is that the memes, Louis, the memes have begun.
Oh, come on, man.
New model for Pants Pantry.
Come on. Watch it, so alone. Watch it.
Oh my God, Mama Lucian.
Somebody posted a comment before that the
Mama
snow
Lucian.
is higher than Kevin. And then somebody else put in the comments, is Kevin sending us a picture of the
Oh,
dog's
come on.
poop?
Look, I mean, look at this. Look at this already. Look at that.
That's what I mean. That was the
Look at it
one.
already.
Let me see.
I mean, look at it already.
No, once that
Oh
genie's
shit!
out of the bottle, Lou, that's
Freaking
never
great.
goes back in the bottle.
I mean, that head is on everything. I was just on Bernie's head.
Yeah, Emily.
There's nothing going on.
Oh,
Don't tell us to snow or something.
You were laughing. It was funny then, right? Oh, yeah, that was funny, right?
But
all right.
Get it out, buddy.
All right, guys. Well, if you're listening to this fine podcast on iTunes Podcast, Spotify, or wherever audio podcasts are found, you should also be going to youtube.com/Getting Salty Experience, where you should take your dang trigger finger booger hook off the dang bang switch and go and hit that like, subscribe, and share button. Guys, when you hit the like, subscribe, and share button, it tells the YouTube algorithm, show me more. Show me more of this. And then we get to go out and visit you at your firehouse and make a cool roadshow segment, which is coming. So please do that for us. That's all we ask. And head on over to Instagram, where you will find us at Salty Dog Inc. And Mr. Refrano right there is curating at 6 a.m. when he texts me the finest fire photos in the game.
I do 6 a.m.
And I promptly ignore them. And then he will also go right ahead. I roll over. I see it's Lou, and I'm fucking Lou, and I just roll right back over. But then anyway, he will also give you all the latest information on the show. So go on over to Instagram and follow us if you're on there. Also, guys, head on over to Getting Salty Apparel, where you'll find the Bronx Ben shirt, the beautiful shirt that Miss Rowe is going on ahead in there, and she's modeling at the moment, right? The hoodie there.
This is like a ladies' hoodie. Glitter. We got glitter.
Ooh la la. Glitter, ladies. So head on over to get Salty.
That one.
Ladies, head on over.
Roll one, please, for God's sakes. What are you doing?
What happened?
Come on, this one's for the girls,
Maria,
man.
Maria likes that one. Someone to Maria.
Okay, we're going to send one to Maria next. GettingSaltyApparel.com, guys. And last but not least, if you guys have questions for us, question and answer shows, gettingsaltyexperience@gmail.com. And last but not least, head on over to Facebook, where you crazy guys, the fans, have made a Getting Salty fans page, and see all the memes of Lou modeling everything tomorrow. Because it will be.
Keep your helmet on when you're playing tennis. That's what somebody wrote.
It will be a bonanza of beautiful memes tomorrow, celebrating the show. You guys have your own events planned and all that wonderful stuff. I'd love to see how the show is taking on its own culture. So, guys, thank you so much for all your support. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you.
Awesome. All right, fellas. Roofy, we got Boston Thursday night. I just texted him. He's going to send us some pictures. So,
all right, great. I'm looking forward to it.
All right.
Good night. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Good night.
Good night,
ladies.
Guys. Good night,
everyone.
Stay low and go.
See you at the big one.
Stay low and go.
Cheers, brothers.